Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing great. I hope wherever you are in the world, it's a beautiful day. It's a gorgeous day here today. I've had a lot of rain, I guess, while I was gone, and we had quite a bit of rain in Ohio also. So today, I've had the garage door open all day. Been working in here. It is West Virginia Day. West Virginia Day, I guess this is the day that we celebrate when we separated from Virginia and when we became a state. And so today was a day off for me as a state employee, and got to spend it with my dad, which is good. For those of you who don't know, my dad was recently in the hospital. He's been feeling worse and worse and worse, with no really explainable reason why, other than the fact that he's old. He's 72, so he's not super old, but he was definitely aging faster than expected. So he finally went to the doctor, finally went to the ER, and they discovered that one of his heart valves was bad. He's had a murmur his whole life, and I guess recently it's begun to calcify, and now it needs replaced. So soon, in a couple weeks, my dad will have open heart surgery, which will involve replacing one valve, repairing or replacing another valve, and an aortic bypass. I don't know what the bypass is for. They said his arteries were perfectly clear, but it is what it is. So he had to spend some time in the hospital. He had to come home and check with the dentist and all that stuff. So Dad's going to get fixed. In the meantime, he's like, you know, you're patiently waiting to go under the knife, right? Like, he has to wait a week or so before he even goes in to have his chest cavity opened, which involves splitting the sternum, breaking ribs, opening everything up. You know, that whole big deal. It's a big thing, right? And of course, it's scary. So, you know, today was a good day for us because he was home. My mom had some stuff to do. So I went and picked him up, brought him here, and we worked on the bench build all day. Haven't talked about it in a while, but I got under here now. I cleaned out some of the storage space under here. I finished the router table, and I will hopefully have that video up by this weekend. I would like to put it all together of building a very simple tabletop router table. Got that done, which means I got all of the, I got all of the dados, the stopped dados cut in the sides here. So essentially, these dados run 3.5 inches down. Here's a sample of the oak wood that's going to slot into these dados, and it'll sit like this. So from the side of the bench, you'll see a nice clean edge here, and this kind of fits in there comfortably, and then this all gets screwed together. We did this with the router table. I essentially put a stop, so that when I ran the board into the router table, it would only go so far and wouldn't continue running down here to make these stop dados. And then I had to take a chisel because the corners here would be rounded. I took a chisel and cleaned these out. So they turned out beautifully, all four sides. So this took 2 setups of the router table. I had to get one set up so I could run this side, which is, you know, a thin edge here. And then I had to run it again with the fence farther back to do this side. And then, you know, I got these all fitted. One of these is a little bit loose and the other ones are a little bit tight. So they're all going to get cleaned up with a chisel or sandpaper or whatever it takes to make each individual piece fit. Part of the process of doing this is keeping these in specific orders. So I have them all numbered. I have them all set where they go. I also have like a cheat sheet that I made so that I can keep track of which ones go where. And then when I make the stretchers, same thing. They will have numbers on them so that they go in the same spot, same direction facing up, all that stuff. It also helps me plan out the grain patterns a little better, how I want them to appear when you're seeing this in the house. So that's nice. Also, I had to do some completely stopped dados here, and this is going to receive a short stretcher that will go between the legs. So this is one of the legs, another leg here. There'll be a short, like maybe 9-inch stretcher that goes across here. So I had to do a completely stopped dado there, and for that, I rigged up. Trying to get all this in the water, Chevy. I rigged up this little guy, this little jig out of just a bunch of random scraps I had laying around. What this allowed me to do is I slipped this onto my leg. I had a line here, and then my palm router could fit in here, and I could hog out all of this material quickly and efficiently. I could have done it with a fence on the drill press and a Forstner bit, and then come back and cleaned it all out. But with the router, it went much more efficiently and much more accurately. And now all I had to do was clean out these corners again with a chisel. And then I did these because on the end pieces, I could like nudge the fence a bit, cut a slot, and then test fit my little end stub here and see if it was loose or tight. And then I could nudge the fence a little bit more, and I kept trying to just sneak up on getting this cut perfect. So that's why it's just slightly tight here. Like I could get this in there if I wanted to, but I don't want to jam it down in there and break all this out. So I'll end up having to shave this down just a little bit. But I wanted it, I'd rather it be tight than loose. And on that thing, there's no going back. Like once you cut this dado in, you're either right or wrong, right? So I did a few tests. Thankfully, I did a few tests because the first one, I had screwed up on my math and it was a ½ inch too wide, so I had to come back and retest. And I test cut all these, by the way. I had sample cuts for every single thing I was doing along the way. Super important. But then I ended up, I set this up so that this joint would be slightly too narrow and slightly too short. So I can come back with a chisel and fine tune it and get it perfect. And that way, there's really no chance of me oversizing them unless I slip with a chisel. And my chisels are very, very sharp, but I'm just taking my patient time. That's all there is to it. And you know what? Telling my father, talking to him today while we worked on this, I thought, now I know why. I've never tried to make fine furniture before. I've never done anything like this. Just because I've never had a need for it. And now that I'm doing this, I can totally see why handcrafted fine furniture costs so much. I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of tedious work to make these joints snug and tight and look great and fit great. And once it's done, this whole bench is going to be amazing, and I'm going to be super proud of it. But if I were to sell this bench to you, I'd probably have to sell it for $500 just to make it worth my time, and it's just a bench, right? That's crazy. But having fun. So that's what it's all about. And I got to spend time with my dad. Hopefully I get to spend some more time with him throughout this week until his surgery, and then he's going to be bedridden for a few weeks, and probably a few months he'll be on extremely light duty, because once they open up your chest, it takes a while for everything to heal. So, but hopefully when he comes back from that, he'll be rocking it, and we'll be able to get a bunch of projects done here, and hopefully some more video, because I know you guys like them. So look out for the video for the router table. I'll have that out soon. Thank you guys for watching as always and leaving awesome comments. Don't forget, I am in fact doing the postcard wall here very, very soon. So please, if you haven't sent me any postcards yet, get it in the mail. If you're not aware, I'm working on a postcard collection. I would like to build a mural of postcards from viewers all over the world, and I will also be hosting that on my website at thedailyshed.com. If you'd like to send me a postcard, the description's below, and just drop me a line and throw a postcard from wherever you are in the world in, and I'll get it, and we'll open it, or they don't open it, but we'll show it on the show and talk about it, and then I'm going to put them up and make a mural. So thank you, as always, for being here. Thank you very much for being my friends. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia. Where does the platypus live? The platypus, also known as the duck-billed platypus, is a semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal endemic to eastern Australia, including Tasmania. Together with the 4 species of Echidna, don't know what that is. It's one of the 5 extant species of monotremes, the only mammals that lay eggs instead of giving birth. There's something that's not deadly from Australia. How do duckbills kill you? That's the real question.